Just ahead this morning, tensions continue to escalate between Gaza and Israel. We will tell you more about the most recent conflict that led several dead and others injured. And tensions with China are leading to a different type of escalation as trade talks continue. And the number of measles cases in the U.S. continues to climb. We'll have more on the recent developments in just a couple of minutes.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:30 on Monday, May the 6th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. It was a wet and soggy weekend, but the temperatures this morning are nice. However, Brandon said it earlier, it's creating a little bit of fog, which might be a problem on your drive to work. But Brandon, after the fog clears, what should we see today?
Sunshine and lots of it. It's going to be a beautiful day after we get past the mess of the morning. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. Satellite radar the last 6 hours. No major issues. Again, just a few little clouds near the border there, but you see that dense fog advisory really kicking into play for everyone until 10 o'clock this morning. Visibility is awful. So again, please be careful, go slow, use your low beams, and just take it easy out there this morning. 40s in Moorhead and Prestonsburg. Everybody else in the 50s. Your day planner, once we get the sunshine out, will climb quickly. 70 by noon, sunny and 75 by 2 o'clock, and about 77 for a daytime high today. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, tensions continue to escalate between Gaza and Israel. Officials with the Palestinian Ministry of Health say 23 people were killed in Gaza in Israeli airstrikes. The death toll includes 2 infants, a 12-year-old boy and 2 pregnant women. Meanwhile, Israeli locals, hospitals, and emergency services say 4 were killed by rocket fire from Gaza, including a foreign worker. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo appeared on Face the Nation yesterday and talked about foreign powers meddling in our elections.
We're working diligently to ensure that the elections in 2020 aren't interfered with by Russia, by Iran, by North Korea, or anyone else. We have enormous resource deployed against that challenge, and the American people should be sure that their government is working hard to keep our elections safe and secure.
Pompeo says President Trump will keep his word. He also talked about the conflict in Venezuela during his appearance on the show. President Trump says he will raise tariffs on Chinese goods once again. The president's move means goods that are now taxed at 10% will be raised to 25% by the end of the week. The move comes after expressing frustration that trade talks with China are moving, quote, too slowly. The announcement comes days before China's vice premier and other top negotiators arrive here in Washington. So this could be an effort by the administration to gain some leverage. China says tariffs have already taken a toll on its economy, and we are waiting to see their response. Pope Francis met with the leader of the Bulgarian Orthodox Church this weekend. The conservative Bulgarian Church does not participate in official Catholic Orthodox dialogue. The Holy Synod has made it clear that it will not take part in any joint services or prayers with the Pope, although a children's choir is expected to sing for him. The Martin County Sheriff's Office says a man who went missing last week was found safe. Glenn Booth is in the early stages of dementia, and loved ones became worried when they could not find him last week. A violent day Saturday in St. Louis, where a string of shooting incidents has left 2 people dead and 13 others injured. Police say 3 men and 2 women were shot in a car during the early morning hours. One of the men died from his injuries. Later, a woman was found in an alley with multiple gunshot wounds, including one to the head. Other shootings included a man who arrived at a hospital with a gunshot wound to the leg and another man who was shot in the hand and back. Police in California shot a man who they say was confronting them with a baseball bat. Officers in Stockton responded to a report of a man with a bat trying to get inside of a woman's home. When officers showed up, they say the man did not comply with their demand, but put down the bat and instead advanced towards officers, swinging. That's when an officer opened fire. No word on the suspect's condition or what charges he now faces. There are now more reports of measles in the Southern California area. A contagious person may have exposed people in 2 cities. That person visited restaurants, shops, and a theater in Long Beach, as well as the UC Irvine campus. There were 8 confirmed cases of measles in LA County and 2 in Orange County. One baby that is in the hospital was too young to get the vaccination.
In general, with what we're seeing in Southern California, we are expecting more cases.
If you do not know if you were vaccinated, doctors encourage you to check with your parents or guardians. Across the U.S., the amount of people contracting measles is on the rise. The secretive Church of Scientology is remaining tight-lipped about its cruise ship that spent days quarantined in port because of a measles outbreak. There are hundreds of people aboard and their risk of contracting the disease is not known. CNN's Natasha Chen has the story.
The Freewinds cruise ship owned by the Church of Scientology has returned Saturday morning to its home port in Curacao after being quarantined for 3 days in St. Lucia. A female crew member tested positive for measles, and now the Curacao government will not let any of the 300 people off the ship until they've determined who is susceptible to the disease.
That's not going to be easy, let me tell you, because, who carries around their immunization records, right?
While quarantined, the ship's doctor requested 100 doses of the measles vaccine Thursday, which St. Lucia's health ministry said they provided for free. This Scientologist says she was on the Freewinds the week before this particular trip.
The Freewinds does not play around with the people who board the ship. They are very serious about security. They're very serious about health. They're very serious about high integrity. And so for me, it's the safest ship in the ocean.
The Church of Scientology didn't respond to CNN's request for comment. It says on its website the ship is a religious retreat at the pinnacle of a Scientologist's spiritual journey. The church has no official stance on vaccinations. But Professor Stephen Kent, an expert on Scientology, says there is a church philosophy that high-ranking Scientologists can fend off illness.
The issue about the Freewinds is that it's filled with high-ranking Scientologists. So consequently, a high-ranking Scientologist very well could imagine that the Freewinds would be one of the last places on Earth that a person would get sick.
And yet now people must remain on board until cleared by health officials. Natasha Chen, CNN.
There have been more than 700 confirmed cases of measles across 22 states in the U.S. this year. The disease was declared eliminated in the country back in 2000. No boarding pass, no problem. Now anyone can visit the 4 airside terminals at Tampa International Airport to grab a bite, go shopping, plane watch, or get some extra time with loved ones. The all-access pass allows 25 people to visit each terminal between 8 in the morning and 8 in the evening. You still go through security and follow the same rules as travelers catching a flight.
Every Saturday, we are going to allow up to 100 people to apply for a pass to come over to our airside.
The airport boasts 70 shops, restaurants, and bars, but most of them are located beyond the TSA checkpoints. TPA joins Pittsburgh International Airport as the second in the nation to offer a program like this. Officials say they will expand TPA all access if it is successful. Longshot Country House was the one celebrating in the winner's circle after race stewards disqualified the undefeated Maximum Security, who finished first in the Kentucky Derby Saturday. It was a controversial decision, no doubt, and Garrett Weimer looked into why and how it all happened.
By most accounts, situations like these are fairly common in horse racing, and it's an easy call in an average race. Here in the horse capital, we all know the Kentucky Derby is not an average race. Still, industry experts and insiders I've talked to say the rules are clear.
From a guy that's been in this game for a long time, they made the right call.
Kenny McPeak posted this video and a number of tweets trying to explain the steward's decision. He's a Lexington native horseman and a Belmont winning trainer. He told me on the phone the stewards are pros.
Maybe the horse just ducked, but it is the rule, and it does need to stay in place because it's their responsibility to stay on path.
The rule says in part, if a leading horse or any other horse in a race swerves or is ridden to either side so as to interfere with, intimidate, or impede any other horse or jockey or to cause the same result, this action shall be deemed a foul. The rule also gives stewards authority to disqualify a horse if the foul alters the finish of the race.
We determined that the 7 horse drifted out and impacted the progress of number 1, in turn interfering with the 18.
Experts say the rule is there for safety reasons because no one wants horses clipping heels and falling. That could lead to catastrophe on the track, something the sport certainly doesn't need on perhaps its biggest day, given the scrutiny the industry is under right now.
To let it go for future Kentucky Derbies would have been worse because then it would have turned into a real rodeo every race.
McPeak says he doesn't think the move was intentional, maybe just a little lost focus or even some bad luck. In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Now, by rule, maximum security was placed behind all the horses. The stewards determined he bothered. As a result, he officially finished 17th in the field of 19. The jockey will meet with stewards this week to watch the race and talk about what happened. Now, yesterday in Lexington, University of Kentucky grads walked across the stage to get their diplomas. This was UK's largest graduating class ever, with more than 3,700 students getting their degrees. Family and friends packed inside Rupp Arena to cheer on their grads. A WWE live event set for today at the Corbin Arena was rescheduled. The event will now take place on October 17th. Event organizers did not give a reason for the rescheduling. Tickets already purchased will be honored in October. And more on Ion Entertainment. YouTube has reached its jaw-dropping milestone. We'll have more straight ahead.
Are you ready for some sunshine? Well, we got to go through some fog first. We'll see some good news for you a little bit later, but don't have the latest forecast in about 3 minutes.